Hi everyone, I'm Jeff Thomas from Nasdaq. We're here live at Silicon Slopes. Today with me is Owen Fuller, CEO of Lucidpress. Owen, thanks for joining us.
Hey, so glad to be here with you, and thank you for being here in Utah for this incredible event.
Fantastic. Well, tell us a little bit about Lucidpress.
Well, Lucidpress is what we think is the world's premier design and brand templating platform. Our promise is that we make it quick and easy for anyone in a company to create on-brand materials. You know, we think that businesses deserve better ways to tell their story. There's more pressure than ever on businesses to tell their story in a personalized way on many platforms. And so we've got to give companies and their leaders some help in doing that, and that's what Lucidpress aims to do.
Well, and brand is just such a critical part of everybody's story, and I can imagine that as a company grows and you get more people, it gets tougher and tougher to control.
Well, it gets really hard to control because all companies are facing this pressure to create more content, and you have all these people on the front lines who say, well, I'm not equipped to do that. You know, I'm not a professional graphic designer, or you know, I don't really know exactly what the company's message should be in this area. And so what we've found is that templates are a form of magic for businesses who are facing this problem. If you have really good company templates that have all of the kinds of material that people need to make on a regular basis, you can create a template once, and then it can be produced in a personalized form over and over again. And it really makes a big difference in getting the right content in the hands of the right audience at the right time.
Now, there's so many ways for companies to get their brand out there these days, whether it's traditional advertising, social media, out of home. So how does your software help to scale across different channels?
Well, I mean, we think a brand is really told through 1,000 or more interactions at any given time on any channel. And so again, if you're really thoughtful about that, you realize you've got to have a technology solution that scales with your company and with your employee base. And so Lucidpress again is a place where all those things live. You know what happens if you don't have something like Lucidpress is someone's on the front lines and they say, oh, I've got to send that thing out, and they check their email, like, what was that PowerPoint we sent 2 years ago? And often what they would pull up in their email there is not going to be legally compliant, it's not going to be on brand. And so again, Lucidpress, it's easy to find templates, they're easy to work with, and then you get your materials out in any channel, whether it's print or digital or any other channel that you need to reach people on.
Fantastic. Now, you've had a really interesting journey because Lucidpress started inside of another company. Tell us a little bit about that journey.
Yeah, it's a unique way to come about. So Lucidpress started as part of Lucid Software, which is an incredible company with great leaders that, where I worked for years. And it was a second product there after the flagship product, Lucid Chart, which many people know and love. And as we grew and we developed our own customer base and our own way of going to market, it started to seem like it'd make a lot of sense for us to have our own company and our own set of investors backing us as we try to take this vision of brand templating to the world. And so in May, we announced that we have, we secured funding and a new group of investors to do just that. We're now a fully independent company for these last several months.
That's amazing. And so you kind of started inside one really innovative company and now are your own independent innovative company.
That's right. Hoping to build on that tradition there and of course add our own flavor to it too. And I was a general manager since 2017, so for me it was very familiar, and we took this great team with us that we'd been building this thing hand in hand with all along. So new structure, same people, and a really exciting new opportunity for us ahead.
So what's been the biggest surprise since you spun out?
Well, we've really had to kind of create our own culture in a way that serves where we're trying to go as a business. It's kind of like going back in time a little bit.
Yeah.
And everyone had to remember that and kind of get a little scrappier, a little more gritty. That's the world I come from. My past is I've started companies from zero to something multiple times, and I love that phase, but we didn't quite have all of the cushy things like a Coke Freestyle machine in the kitchen and a bike rack and a climbing wall, in the office. But what we found is that we have a really great way of working together and great people, and that's the heart of our culture. And so it's been awesome to find our own path in that regard.
That's a really interesting point because, so much people talk about maintaining culture as you scale, but you guys are having to do it in reverse.
We are, and we talk a lot about it, and what we think about though is what are the parts of our culture that have actually got us here and make us who we are. An advisor said not long ago that culture is what you tolerate and what you celebrate. And so we're thinking a lot about that. What is it that has got us here, and what will get us where we need to go? And I'm encouraging everybody now that joins us. We're hiring quite a few people. They've got to help us shape that now. Like we can't rely on what we had from Lucid Software. And so I think that we have big things ahead. And it's going to be because of our people and our culture that we'll either succeed or fail, and I'm obviously really optimistic.
Yeah, I love that line about it's what you tolerate or celebrate, because it really is. So many companies have their values or their mission statement and their words, but it really comes down to what do you do every day?
What's your lived experience? It's not really what's on the wall, and we know that. So that's what we try to stay true to each other about all the time. We really try to create an environment of what we call healthy conflict, where people feel welcome and able to talk about whatever it is that they need, and we think that's the space where innovation happens. And so far so good. We're building an amazing team. We're getting some of the top talented people that you could imagine in areas like product and engineering and marketing and other areas at our company now. And so it's an exciting time, and we think there's only more good things to come in the near future. So we haven't rebranded yet. We came from Lucid Software, we're now Lucidpress. There will be a rebrand here in the not too distant future, so there's a lot more exciting announcements to come.
And what's your favorite thing about Silicon Slopes?
Well, I feel really fortunate here all the time, because I started my first company in 2009. I felt a little alone when I did that. I remember I started my company in my apartment. You click a button and you register this LLC, and you're kind of looking around like, hey, is this a real company now? And I remember the first time I sent out an invoice, I just looked online for what an invoice should be like, and then when someone paid me for it was kind of like magic. Like, you're telling me this works, okay, so you're going to pay me for this, and then to go from that feeling pretty alone and certainly really naive, to then having these amazing mentors, to get to work with Carl Sun for years, CEO of Lucid Software, and have incredible investors like Jeremy Andrus, the CEO of Traeger Grills, and our great partner that we work with in this transaction that we did called Charles Thane Capital. I feel like I'm just surrounded by a tremendous group of people who are willing to give back. They're looking to help others succeed, and that's really blazed a path for me. And the other note that I'd add on that is I do think that we have something unique and special here in Utah when it comes to our political environment. I know that politics can be kind of a hot or a contentious topic, but it's less so here because we have leaders that I think we can really look to for good ethics and to be very competent and to have a business-friendly environment. Governor Cox, I think, has done a tremendous job leading out in his administration with that. All those things together, plus the amazing national parks, make it there's nowhere else we'd rather be.
Fantastic. Well, yeah, the sense of community that you feel here every time you come, it just is amazing to me. So.
Well, we want you here as often as you guys can make it. So come back any chance you get, and thank you again for being a part of this.
Awesome. Thanks, Owen.
Yeah, you bet. Thank you.